That's what we're going to say. Let's just take a look at the NFC for a bit before we talk about the conference championships a little bit. So the Niners and the Packers and the Bucks and the Lions. Let's start with the Niners. 24-21. I think Jordan Love proved to us all that he's going to be a star in the making. He kind of already
He's
is a
the guy,
star.
man.
He's
That's
the
the
guy in
guy.
Green Bay. Packer fans, please be thankful for your general manager each and every day.
And
Um,
Chicago Bears fans, be scared.
be scared unless if you draft Caleb Williams and he turns out to be a stud, or if Fields turns out to be a stud. I think if any, I know everybody's saying Chicago Bears fans, and I get that that's the bigger rivalry.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Minnesota Vikings fans too. They don't have any hope for a quarterback right now. The Lions have Goff. The Bears have two chances at a quarterback. Can they mess this up? They probably will. So
Yeah.
yeah, the entire NFC North. I love how we singled out Chicago, but Minnesota, you got to be scared too. Detroit, you'll be fine. You got you guys on defense to handle this guy, but yeah, it's gonna be tough. Jordan Love, though, I think my biggest takeaway about this game was not Jordan Love because I think we knew this already. We knew Jordan Love could play. We knew he was a good quarterback. We knew he was the guy. I think the Dallas game really stamped it, and this stamped it again.
Oh yeah.
But I think to me, I was already convinced about Jordan Love. Yes, this is really one. A lot of the times people have seen him on a national stage play really well. I get it, but he was always the guy. And I think he outplayed Brock Purdy quite a bit. And I think my biggest takeaway is Brock Purdy without Debo Samuel and this offense without Debo Samuel is not very good. Not really that good at all. Yes, they had a drive. They won the game. They went out and did what Brock did what he had to do at the end of the game. But man, when you compare these two quarterbacks and how accurate they were with their throws and the throws that they made, I think it seemed that it was night and day, Jordan Love and Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy is I want to ask if he's the long-term solution still. They're winning. Yes.
I still think he is. I mean, here's my thing with Brock Purdy, right? Like, I know what you're saying is when oh, if he didn't have these weapons, I don't know if he's gonna be this good. If he didn't have the, I feel like you can make the same argument for so many quarterbacks out there.
I
Who's
agree.
like
I think it's a huge issue with the quarterback position in the NFL.
like if Montana never had Rice, we never be talking about Montana. If this guy never had this guy, we never be talking about him. Like I feel like Brock Purdy, okay, if you want to call him I'm not saying you specifically, I'm just saying anybody. You want to
Sure.
call him you want to call him a game manager or anything like, sure, fine. He's a game manager. You can't convince me that this guy is not a good quarterback though. You have to be somewhat good. If this was the case, then they would have kept CJ Beathard. Then they would have kept Nick Mullins in
Right.
San Francisco. Then they would have kept Garoppolo. They would have kept these guys if Purdy wasn't the dude. They would have kept Trey Lance there if Purdy
Right.
wasn't the guy. You're looking at Purdy right now. I mean, I understand that he's had his moments where like he'll throw like four interceptions, like against Baltimore, like that one time, like once in a blue moon scenarios. Purdy does not mess up. He doesn't. I don't see him messing up like that, like other young quarterbacks do, where they're honestly like under the most pressure they've ever seen. And I remember Fred Warner was talking about this, where he said, "Listen, in practice, he's gonna play against the best defense in the league, us,
That's
every
true.
practice." He plays against us every single practice, and he's getting better every single time. If I'm telling you, me, arguably one of the best linebackers in the game, that this guy's getting better, you should take it for you should take my word for it.
Yeah.
He's getting better every single time. The dude doesn't mess up, and I think, sure, yeah, you want to call him a game manager? I think he's gonna be one of the greatest game managers we've ever seen because the guy doesn't mess up like that. And if it continues, listen, the personal side of me, I want Detroit to win. I would love to see Detroit in the
Oh,
Super
for
Bowl.
sure.
I feel like a lot of people would love that. But realistically here, if we're talking about the 49ers and the Baltimore Ravens again, if Brock Purdy wins a Super Bowl ring, we're going to start talking about this man as far as like a legacy goes for the 49ers quarterbacks. We're going to start talking about it.
I really don't think that he's going to ever become anything close to the Steve Young Montana
Okay,
conversation.
well, I'm not saying he's going to be like a
You, sh-
Montana.
he's
I'm not
not.
I'm not, I'm not going to say he's going to be anything like that. I'm saying as far as like 49ers legends, I'm saying as far as
Yeah, he'll be
49ers guys,
third.
yeah, he'll be up there.
He'll be
That's
third.
still
But also, how many teams have three really good quarterbacks that are Hall of Famers? Not many.
well,
So,
I mean, I'm just saying, like looking at him, I mean, the
like
guy
Lamar
was the
Jackson's
last
the
pick.
best quarterback in Ravens history, but that's only next to Joe Flacco.
Something about Flacco, man. I'm just kidding.
Something about Flacco. Something about Flacco.
Something about
Now,
Flacco, man.
I, here's my thing though, right? It's where I go back and forth on this stuff because we were just talking about the Bills and the Chiefs,
Right.
and you were saying wins are on a quarterback stat. But the biggest part about Brock Purdy is the fact that he's winning, not because of how well he plays every time. I mean, his ball was not there in this game. He missed a lot of throws that he should have made. I think
No,
that
I agree.
he
I
did not.
agree.
This was not his best game. Yes, he had the really good drive that took the lead, and it was a great drive. Right? He made the plays he had to make, and I agree. I'm with you on this. But when it comes to in terms of okay, I'm picking a team and I'm taking Brock Purdy. I'm not taking him very high in terms of all the quarterbacks in the league. Are we going to look back and say Brock Purdy was better than Justin Herbert when this is all said and done? Are we going to sit here and say that? I mean, yes, he had a better team and they won a Super Bowl, maybe. We're going to find out. But I will also say there was a clear difference into how good he was without Deebo Samuel. And yes, we say, oh, Montana without Jerry Rice, but he still had George Kittle and Brandon Ayuk and Christian McCaffrey and some really good players on this team, and he didn't look that good. So I am a little bit worried about Brock Purdy. I'm sold on him being a quality quarterback in the NFL. He can play. He can be a starter in this league, and he can be pretty good at it. Is he ever going to be an elite quarterback? I don't see him being an elite quarterback. I don't even think if he goes out and wins a Super Bowl, I still probably wouldn't call him an elite quarterback unless if he really shows that he is. Because you look at all the quarterbacks in the AFC, Stroud, Allen, Mahomes, Jackson. I'm not taking Brock Purdy over any of those guys. Not even I'm not thinking about it. I'm taking Jared Goff. I might even take Jordan Love. So when you when you look at the talent wise, am I taking Brock Purdy? I think he still has to show that. And yes, they won the game. He didn't show that. Jordan Love showed something. It's a bit of an interesting difference that we have here. And yes, we look at the numbers. Brock Purdy 252 yards. He had a good game in terms of just winning the game, putting up yards and all that.
Mhm.
But you got to take a look at the arm talent and the accuracy and realize that he's not there. And will he get there? Will he get better next year? Will he get better in the future? Probably. We'll see. And he's got a great record as a starter and he's got great numbers and everything. But I think the jury's not, I'm not sold on Brock Purdy being and when I look at the 49ers and say, oh yeah, they got it really good. I think, oh, they got a guy. Do they have the guy? We'll see. And if he goes out and wins it all, sure, they got the guy.
I I mean, you talk about your weapons carrying you, right?
Yeah,
Your defensive guys carrying you. Can't you not make that argument for a lot of other quarterbacks though?
you can.
Like,
Yes, you can. But I'm not going to make it about Lamar Jackson because he proved that he is
oh,
so much more
I'm not
talented
disagreeing.
beyond that. Let's say.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm just saying it's a lot easier to play when you have arguably the best defense in the league,
Yeah,
like the Baltimore Ravens. When
right.
you got a team that led the league in takeaways, led the league in sacks, led the league in like intercept, well, whatever. They led the league in like a bunch of statistical categories, like yards allowed per game.
Right.
It's pretty hard to not do well when you have a defense that will literally shut out your opponents.
So it's easy to win with that, right? But it's not as easy to look great. Brock Purdy won, but he didn't look great. Lamar Jackson won and looked great. And you look at a guy like Mahomes, he won with a bad receiving core. Let's be flat out about it.
Kind of sounds like Eli Manning. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Maybe it could be Eli,
the
but
the
am I?
way the way you're saying it, I'm like, wait, who do I know that has won games, didn't look all
Right? He
that
won two
great,
Super Bowls,
defense
didn't look
carried
great.
you. That
Yeah,
sounds exactly like Eli Manning.
right. It's tough. I mean, but am I gonna? But when we look back at Eli Manning, how great? Yes, I think he deserves a spot in the Hall of Fame. But when it comes to, oh, he's
But
better
you
than
see
this
how
guy.
it's
Oh,
a
he's better
debate.
than these guys.
But like you see how that's been a debate though with
We have
Eli Manning.
debated it.
Like,
Yes, we've debated it for so
yeah,
long.
because nobody really knows. Nobody really knows. The only factor is like, I understand we're going off topic here, but it's like
Yeah,
the
for
only
sure.
argument is his Super Bowls.
Yes.
Will Brock Purdy's Super Bowls be the reason why we look at him one day if he continues this, the way that he performs, if he continues this all the way until he's like, 35.
Right.
We're
We'll
talking
find
about
out.
him like he's gonna be a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Right. And will he deserve it? I don't even know. It's one of those situations where I'm not looking at where you look at Lamar, you look at Mahomes, you look at Allen, we even look at Jordan Love now, and we sit there and say, yeah, he'll get one, yeah, or he'll get a lot better. We're looking at Brock Purdy like, oh, he's overrated, he's this. So I don't know, I don't know where he's going to end up. I gotta see them win a Super Bowl, but I have to see your team, and it's kind of what I was saying about Josh Allen. I need to see your team win because of you, not not just you were there and they won. Right? We don't. Is Nick Foles an all-time great quarterback? No, they won, and he was there, and he did what he had to do.
They put a statue of him in front of
Right?
Philadelphia.
They put a statue. Right? Sure, you can get a statue. I mean, sure, you deserve it. You won the Super Bowl, for crying out loud, right? But why did the Patriots won all those Super Bowls? Because Tom Brady made the drive. Because Tom Brady was clutch. The Colts were revitalized as a franchise because Peyton Manning could make every throw you could ever imagine. The Baltimore Ravens were solid at quarterback now because of Lamar Jackson. I could go down the list of quarterbacks like that. But am I going to sit here and say, oh, Brock Purdy was the reason that the Niners figured it out? Right? They could have went out and got so many other quarterbacks and figured it out. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. And Brock Purdy, again, it's a little bit of that thing because I've watched him be bad a lot more than those guys, the guys that he gets compared to. We can say, sure, Brock Purdy's fun. Brock Purdy's winning. Brock Purdy's successful. But when I'm talking so many great quarterbacks, let's say under the age of 25, and I saw Alyssa had him around third, I saw Justin Herbert at 5 and Brock Purdy at 3. That's where we need to kind of relax. Yes, he's winning, but wins are at a quarterback stat, and we need to use that in both ways. We need to use wins are at a quarterback stat because a lot of people like to use that, and I also use it, when people are kind of overrating a quarterback, saying, oh, he won this many Super Bowls, he did this, and not kind of the other way around. Not, oh, well, yes, I think this guy's good, or I think this guy's not good. It's a whole debate we can have forever, and you can look at the film and watch Brock Purdy play, but I still just don't have him as a top quarterback in the NFL. He's going to be a successful quarterback, but is he an elite quarterback? Man, we've had this conversation so many times about quarterbacks, and he's entering the list. And what usually happens? Those guys will win one, and nothing really comes out of it ever again. So we'll see what Brock Purdy becomes. He's kind of on that edge a little bit to me. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Break Panel Sports, and we are here in the beautiful backyard of our friend Jeff. But I'm John.
And I'm Joel. Make sure to look for more on our Spotify and YouTube. We'll see you next time.